causing germs after using the restroom. Wow. To make matters worse, 33% of hand washers don't use soap and 10% skip hand washing altogether. Wow.
It's just beginning. The sunlight it hides as the clouds make way for the pouring of my blessings. I will not be afraid. I see it now. I understand. I know. So I embrace it. Dance in the rain. It's for my seed to grow. For every prayer and every seed I've sown. Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping back 100-fold. The land is green, it's green. Oh, oh.
All right, the program is still Healthy Living on Pensioners FM 106.7. And like I did tell you, some people in here are attesting to the fact that they actually don't wash their hands. All right, moving on, you can help yourself and your loved ones stay healthy by washing your hands very often, especially during these key times when you are likely to get or to spread germs. This period where dusts are raising, the season is dry, you have dust here and there, you have flu here and there, you have cough here and there. Of course, this is a period where you have to be very cautious of washing your hands.
Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping joy 100-fold. The land is green, it's green. Oh, oh. The land is green, it's green. Can't you see? The harvest is ready. The Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. I thought it was over.
All right. At this moment, I'll be sharing with you the periods, the time when you should be washing your hand, moments where you should be cognizant of hand washing. And I start with before, during, and preparing your food. That's the moment you're in the kitchen. Before you start preparing your food, the very first thing you should get to do is to wash your hands. And while preparing your food, of course, you should wash your hand over and over again. And after you must have prepared that meal, you should also wash your hand. Yes, another moment where when you should wash your hand is before eating your food. Well, I know this one. Some people would say, after all, I'm not eating with my hand. I'm making use of the cutleries, and the cutleries are clean enough. The cutleries have been washed. It still doesn't mean. You see, there are times when you are eating and there might just be a need for you to touch that food. So because of this, you should wash your hand. You should ensure that your hand is washed. At least it makes you safe. It makes you know that you touching your meal, even with the fact that you're using your cutlery, you using your bare hand to touch your food, of course, it makes you know that you are safe and what you're eating is also safe. All right, before and after caring for someone at home who is sick with vomit or diarrhea. Well, this, in case you have someone you're taking care of, someone who is sick, and maybe as a result of the person's illness, the person is vomiting, has diarrhea, stooling here and there. Of course, you as a person taking care of that ill person, you should be able to wash your hand as often as possible in order not to contact the disease the person is carrying. Of course, another moment when you should try to wash your hand, where you should be very, very cognizant of washing your hands, is before and after treating a cut or wound. Wow, this I know lots and lots of people are guilty of it. When you have a cut or you want to treat someone with a cut, Then you pick up your first aid box. Maybe you don't have a glove in it. Maybe you do have a glove in it. Anyway, you pick up your first aid box, you get the wool, you get the cleanser, the spirit, and whatever it is you want to apply on the wound. You clean it, and that's it. And you tell the person, oh, I've cleaned it. Don't worry. You're cool. You're fine. And then you end up to forget to wash your hand. Well, that's a period when you have to be very careful. You should try as much as possible to wash your hands before and after treating a cut or a wound.
Standing alone can be a heavy load. But my vows I won't be breaking. Though my heart is aching, I got a word and I won't let go. It's your will I'm seeking, so I keep on believing. I see it now, I understand, I know, so I embrace it then. Once again, it's time for me to grow. For every prayer and every tear I've sown, Lord of the harvest knows I'm making joy 100-fold.
All right, the next point I'm taking, this one I am taking, is that one moment when you have to wash your hand is after you must have visited the restroom. That's the moment you go to the toilet to ease yourself, to relieve yourself. The moment you are done with what you have gone to the toilet to do, of course, the thing you should do is to wash your hands. Ensure you wash your hands. All right, this has to do with you. This has to do with me. This has to do with the ladies generally. You, as a lady, should learn to wash your hand when you are on your menstrual cycle, before you get to change your towels, and after you must have changed your towels. You should learn to wash your hand at this moment. And I know that quite a number of ladies don't do this. Quite a number of ladies don't do this. It's not good for you. It's not good for a healthy living.
The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? I can see all the harvest is ready, cause he told me so. It's green and it's all mine.
All right, I'm still with the ladies on this one. Changing of diapers or cleaning up for a child who has just used the toilets. I know ladies at most time are the ones who get to attend to babies. You have the older one pooing, peeing, and all of this. You should learn to wash your hands after you must have changed your baby's diapers, or after you must have cleaned up for the older baby from the toilet. You wash your hand and teach that child too to wash his or her hands. This is another important one that concerns everyone. You should learn to wash your hand after blowing your nose, after coughing, or after sneezing. This is a very common one. You don't plan for the sneeze to come, but then you just find yourself sneezing, and because you don't want to spread the germs coming, because you don't want saliva to meet people seated, you being around people, the next thing you do, of course, is to cover up your mouth because the sneeze is coming.
On the rose and the earth sings, the season's just beginning. Sunlight it hides as the clouds make way. From the pouring of my blessings, I will not be afraid. I see it now, I understand, I know, so I embrace it. Dance in the rain, it's for my seed to grow. For every prayer and every seed I've
From Pensioners 106.7 FM, it's 13 minutes before 4, and the program you're listening to is Healthy Living. And today we're talking about washing of hands as a means of healthy living. And I'm talking about the period, the moments where we should take cognizance of washing our hands. Before going on that break, I did talk about when blowing our nose, coughing, or sneezing. You know, this period you might not have when like I was saying earlier, that when the sneeze is coming, it's not like you have planned for the sneeze to come. So when the sneeze is coming, of course, the first thing you do is use your hands to cover up your nose and your mouth in order to sneeze. And the moment you have done that, my sister, my brother, my listener out there, you have actually transmitted some germs from your mouth into your hands. So, what you should do at that moment, immediately after coughing or sneezing or blowing your nose, is that you should wash your hands. Now, after touching an animal or after feeding an animal, this is the those of us who have pets, who keep pets or who have animals in our house, birds and all of that. When you touch them, forget the fact that this pet, you wash it every day, you bathe it every day, you do all of that. You still need to wash your hand the moment you touch that pet. It is very important for you to do that. And in case you happen to feed those pets, those animals that you have around you, maybe your birds, your pets, you should also learn to wash your hands immediately after feeding your animals. This is another very important one. You should learn to wash your hand after touching the garbage. Okay, someone here is smiling. You should learn to wash your hands after touching the garbage. Of course, you know the garbage, germs, the diseases, and all of that. So the moment you drop something there, the moment you touch the garbage, you should learn to wash your hand. Washing your hand, of course, you should learn to wash your hand when handling to treat your pets. This, I think, has to do with the doctors, the experts. When you treat your pets, of course, you wear the gloves and all of that. But let me tell you that the moment you remove those gloves from your hands, it is still very important for you to wash those hands of yours that you have covered earlier with the gloves.
The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? I can see all the harvest is ready, 'cause he told me so. It's green and it's all mine. Stand in the rain as the clouds go gray. From the roars and the earth sings. The season's just beginning. Sunlight it hides as the clouds make way. For the pouring of my blessings, I will not be afraid. I see it now, I understand, I know. So I embrace it, dance in the rain. It's for my seed to grow. For every prayer and every seed I've sown, the Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping back 100-fold. The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. It's green for me.
All right, I will be sharing with you how best to wash your hands when you want to wash them. First, you wet your hands with clean water. Ensure you first of all wet your hands with clean water. After that, you apply soap. Lather your hands by rubbing that soap together. Ensure you rub your hands together back and forth from the back to the front to in between your fingers to your nails. You ensure you wash all of this. It's just a couple of seconds. It's not something you have to do for a whole minute. Within 20 to 30 seconds, of course, you should have been able to wash back, forth, and in between the fingers, tip of your nails, and all of that. After rubbing them together with the soap, you should rinse your hands with very clean water. Chic, clean your hands with very clean water. Rinse your hands with very clean water. And then you get a towel to dry. That's all. It's as simple as that and as easy as that. All right, the new hand washing campaign is that life is better with clean hands. Life is better with clean hands. Now, there is something very important I want to share with us. We usually don't wash our hands as a result of ignorance. It's not because we don't know. We don't wash our hands because we don't. It's not, I have really not seen that person that will tell me that I am not washing my hands because I don't know. No, we don't wash our hands as a result of negligence. We just don't wash our hands as a result of negligence. And you hear lots of people say, disease no, they kill African man. Oh no, Africans, we don't get infected. Oh no, Africans this. Oh no, Africans that. No, you have to ensure that you maintain a healthy lifestyle in order for you to be germ-free, sick-free, and live a healthy lifestyle. Now, a very important thing that has to do with hand washing is that you should learn to keep your nails low. Learn to keep low nails. Your fingernails should be low as possible. You should tend to cut them very often. It also helps in maintaining a hygienic hand. You know, when your nails are really long, it only gives germs and bacteria space to hide on your hand.
Stand in the rain as the clouds go gray. The thunder roars and the earth sings. The season's just beginning. Sunlight it hides as the clouds make way.
All right, for those of you who enjoy to keep your nails, well, my advice to you is just that you should cultivate the habit of washing your hand as often as possible, and you should try to clean your hands as often as possible too. This is where I'll be drawing the curtains on healthy living this afternoon. I've shared with you tips. I've shared with you tips on hand washing and how hand washing is a means of living a healthy lifestyle. Until I come your way again, same time, same station, next week, Monday. My name is Bilkis ISHOLA TAIWO. Many thanks for listening to Pensioners 106.7 FM.
I got a word and I won't let go. It's your will I'm seeking, so I keep on believing. I see it now, I understand, I know, so I embrace it. Dance. Once again, it's time for me to grow. For every prayer and every tear I've sown, Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping joy 100-fold. The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, and you see, the harvest is ready. The Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. I thought it was over, thought you were done with me, but we're just beginning. Whoa, my life is a
Regina, how do you describe a good radio station?
Oh, it should educate, give information, and entertain.
You got it right, girl.
Yes, she really did. And the good news is we have a radio station that gives it all, even more.
Wow! We want to know.
Pensioners FM 106.7 is the radio station. We broadcast to every nook and cranny. We thrill you with logical planning of our programs. We remain your number one source of information. Talk of adverts, no station does it better. Pensioners FM 106.7, Voice of Liberation.
From the rising to the setting of the sun, here is the first labor radio in Africa. Pensioners 106.7 FM Agbarigo Nireke Ibadan, a station for the elderly, the youth, teenagers, and in fact our children. It's a station for all, so come patronize us on Pensioners 106.7 FM. All corporate organizations, ministries, departments, and agencies of government, artisans, private companies, market men and women, civil servants, and other categories of workers. This is your station. Just visit the marketing department of Pensioners 106.7 FM at Barigo Onireke Ibadan and you'll be glad.